it is, Hitman.
Yeah. Coffee with Tim Black time. I got my coffee, as always. I got my water, as always. And I got you guys. And I got my brim too low. A little higher. What's going on, people? How y'all doing? Welcome to Coffee with Tim Black. How is it going? How you feeling? Man, are you guys, ready to, go behind the curtain a little bit on some of this news stuff, find out what's going on in the world, do so in a kind of refreshing way? I hope you are, because we got a lot going on today.
It is Hitman.
Need to clear my area up a little bit. It looks a little raggedy. Yeah? So, so what we have on tap today, net neutrality by Burger King. Just the way you like it. Forget what I forget the tagline for Burger King. The bold fold. The bold fold. This is what the Democratic Party is talking about, folding on Donald Trump in the DACA thing, the Dreamers. Also, we have Bank of America trying to squeeze every last dime out of you. Jeffrey Sterling, whistleblower, is almost home. Toys R Us is shutting some doors. An Olympic gymnast director gets a lot of time. Doctor. It's bad when you can't read your own writing. All right, so let's get down to this. I want to give a shout out to those who sent me emails. I'm going to respond to every email that I received after last night's broadcast. And those people who are interested in contributing to the TBTV platform and getting in, helping out, and maybe honing your skills or whatever. I'll talk more about it later, but I just want to say at the top of the show, man, thank you so much. Your interest is so appreciated. So, it really is appreciated. I'd like to start today's show off with a little peek here. All right? Bam! Release the memo. God, that mic's up loud. Am I loud? I think I'm loud. I think I'm very loud. Okay, so one of the hottest topics that have been circulating across the internet this week has been the idea of releasing the memo. Now, this document's a secret 4-page memorandum prepared by the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee that has become a rallying cry for Republicans waging a sustained campaign against the FBI and the Justice Department. The document put together by Rep. Devin Nunes. I think I got that right, Fred. I think I got it right. Nunes, Republican out of California, alleges that Obama administration abused the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act in targeting the Trump campaign. Now, that is the FISA Act. The specifics aren't clear because it's classified and it's available only to members of Congress. What is clear is that Nunes has said that the memo must be public. That's what's clear, is they want it public. Hence, release the memo. That means show the people the memo. All right? Now, there's been a lot of secrecy surrounding this memo. Nunes has so far not shared it with the FBI, according to my documents and my research, but the secrecy hasn't stopped. Republicans are sounding an alarm that they say a scandal of epic proportions has been perpetrated on the American people, and that this Russia investigation was tainted from the start. The Democrats, on the other hand, dismissed the memo as a new partisan attack on the FBI, because we all know how vulnerable the FBI is to the people, you know. Like, they are no match for us. Yeah. They say it's part of a broader GOP campaign to undermine the Bureau and, by extension, Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into possible coordination between the Trump campaign and Russia. Yeah.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
So the chief of the House Permanent Committee on Intelligence, the HPSCI, Devin Nunes, which I still don't announced and also the 4-page memo. Now, this announcement of the memo came back in January 18th of 2018. Nunes' memo summarizes some 1,200 pages of U.S. intel covering FBI Obama admin misuse of governmental surveillance to spy on Trump's team during the campaign and during the 2016 general election. So the formation of the campaign for the election up until the election, and maybe beyond. Almost immediately, a rallying cry uniting citizens from across the political spectrum erupted, and that's where the hashtag Release the Memo was birthed. And the midwives of that have been activists and those sounding the alarm all across the internet. So on January 23rd, well, let's back up. Let's talk a little bit about this hashtag, because this is the power of the internet. The hashtag Release the Memo was trending February 19th, 2018, a 286.700% increase. Is that even possible? Can something increase by 286.700%? I thought it was just, I don't know. And used 100 times more than the next trending topic. Wow. That's how powerful this has been. So, look, guys, this Release the Memo is not just simply a GOP issue. And that's how the Democratic Party wants to frame it, as if no one else cares. Okay? The people who don't care about this just are unaware of it. They don't know about it, so how could you care about something you don't know anything about? The people that have been following the Russia collusion investigation, they are attuned to this. This is important because look, due process matters. It should matter, right? It matters in this country. So what the Release the Memo seeks to prove is that there was a justification for the surveillance that took place. Without justification for the surveillance, then you have nothing. There are rights in this country, rights of privacy, rights of due process. So this matters. On January 23rd, 2018, Senator Dianne Feinstein and Rep. Adam Schiff wrote a letter addressed to Mark Zuckerberg, Chairman CEO of Facebook, and Mr. Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter. And what were they asking for? I don't know what was in that letter. What was in the letter that they wrote to them? Obviously traumatized as children by Boris and Natasha. God, where's my Boris and Natasha picture, Momo? I need to put that on the screen. Bowinkle. Boris and Natasha were Russian agents trying to fight the U.S. They were trying to spy on the U.S. This goes back to, I think, the 50s. Okay? This cartoon. Anyway, they're requesting that Zuckerberg and Dorsey launch a rapid search to identify users with Russian connections. The identified as Russian Facebook influence, as we know, Facebook came out, and this was a write-up that $150,000 was spent by Russian bots. That was the estimated amount of money using Facebook ads to influence said election. $150,000. And they want to know who these people are. Because, damn it, this $150,000, man, we got to track that down. Never mind that $1 million plus that was spent by Correct the Record to do pretty much the same thing, influence the election and silence voices and push the Hillary agenda. Or the D. I don't. Somehow this $150,000, that's dangerous to our democracy. But anyway, Devin Nunes specifically references surveillance abuses, Feinstein and Schiff redirect the info to the memo as a plot to discredit the Mueller investigation. So, there are people who just want to know the truth. Those people are all around us. Don't think for a second that this is just a Republican issue. This is a United States issue. This is about the crux of what we've been listening to all this time. For months and months and months, we've been hearing how, oh God, our elections are being stolen. We have no democracy. It's been sold to Putin. And Trump and Putin work together to elect Trump. There's never been any talk of France, of Switzerland, of many countries throughout Northern America and Europe who supported Hillary. But that's not to be talked about because she lost. There were many, many countries who backed Hillary. Most did. They thought she'd win too. So I find this all, look, like I've said before, I want to see it. If you got it, bring it here, produce it. And producing the evidence of Russian collusion, I also want to see, did you legally spy on the Trump campaign? Did you legally surveil the Trump campaign? That's what we want to know, and I think it's a fair question to ask, and we should keep asking that question. That's right. We want to know. We deserve to know. What happened? What was the happenings? What was the goings on? All right. I say we move here. Burger King. Burger King. Now, when you think about giving valuable, I can't even talk to that. When you talk about giving valuable information that will influence people, educate people so that they can become aware of a very important issue that affects not only all people in the U.S. who access the internet or any other entity or any other service, you would not possibly not think that would be left up to someone like Burger King. Burger King ain't exactly in the business of waking people up. But apparently Burger King is woke as fuck. Because they released a commercial today that outlines perfectly the net neutrality situation. And I think they deserve a big time applause for it. Basically, let me run down what the commercial entailed. Okay, so first of all, people go into the Burger King, they order in their Whopper, right? They order their burger. To mimic the net neutrality discussion and the effects of the reversing or the repealing of net neutrality, the Burger King cashiers, servers, whatever you call them, workers, they say, well, we can't give you your burger now because you're in the slow lane. See, when you ordered, you were in the slow lane for your burger, your Whopper. And it'll cost you this much to get in the fast lane. This is the turbo lane. This is the fast lane. This is the slow as hell lane. Okay? And you have to pay a certain amount of money to get your burger. So it was like dramatic fashion to explain to people this series of lanes, a series of some people being prioritized for their burger. Now, of course, this pissed off a lot of the customers because customers are like, I paid you for my burger. I want my damn burger now when it's ready. And Burger King's like, no, can't get it to you right now. Can't do it right now. Because, see, we got to follow the thing over here, the speeds, the lanes. And that, my friends, is the freaking net neutrality in a nutshell. In a nutshell, folks, and it was perfectly displayed. Now, according to Burger King, they released this. We believe the internet should be like Burger King restaurants, a place that does not prioritize and welcomes everyone. Welcomes everyone. That's right.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, sucker.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
Welcome to Jamaica. Anybody should be able to come in Burger King, and anybody should be able to access the internet who has an internet connection. There should not be prioritized. There should not be discrimination. There should not be selling of who gets what to be able to go where. That is why we created this experiment to call attention to the potential effects of net neutrality. This was said by Burger King Global CMO Fernando Machado. So, as I explained before, in the video, perplexed customers become increasingly irate as it is explained to them that the sooner that they want their Whopper, the more they have to pay. So the sooner you want your page to load, the more you have to pay. Come on, guys. The sooner you want your page to load, the more you got to pay. Okay, the video ends with the Burger King mascot taking a long sip from an oversized Reese's coffee mug, just like the absurd signature mug of FCC chairman and former attorney for Verizon, Ajit Pai. So, the December vote for the FCC overturned a landmark regulation adopted in 2015 that fundamentally changed how ISPs are regulated, basically making them public utilities similar to the old phone company. A move to overturn the appeal is hovering or brewing in the Senate, while 21 state attorneys generals are bringing suit challenging the FCC action. Just this week, Montana Governor Steve Bullock effectively imposed net neutrality in that state by an executive order governing state contracts for internet service. California, New York, Rhode Island, and Washington are all considering legislation. I can't say enough how important it is that we have a free and open internet. It will be damaging not only to people trying to seek information, but to businesses, small businesses just starting out. These ISPs own way too much of our infrastructure, way too much content to be able to speed and slow up lanes. That's the bottom line. I think we need to all wake up and be a part of it. I've done videos on it. For some reason, they don't get shared that much. But this is an important issue. Net neutrality. We need it. We do not need ISPs controlling our internet. All right. Now, guys, this is let's go here. Jeffrey Sterling. How many people have heard the name Jeffrey Sterling? Jeffrey Sterling. He is a former CIA. He's a CIA leaker, and he was imprisoned during the Obama reign. I remember his story being a story of such twists and turns. It seemed like they just gave this young man the shaft for no damn reason, other than they wanted to prove a point. It was like a message was being sent that if you even talk to a journalist, and you are a former CIA or current CIA, then we're coming for you. And though Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize, he didn't have a lot of peace and love for whistleblowers. In fact, it was the most fascist president on record when it came to whistleblowers. A little thing that they don't talk much about when they say, oh, the Obama years. Not so good for freedom. Definitely not so good for the press. Jeffrey Sterling, a former CIA employee convicted of leaking classified information about Iran's nuclear program to a New York Times reporter, has been released after serving more than 3.5 years in prison. Sterling was freed from a federal correctional institution in Colorado early Tuesday and is scheduled to finish the remainder of his sentence at a St. Louis halfway house. This was tweeted by Arn Minconi. I remember Arn. I remember you, Arn. What's up, man? You all right? All right. Like, I know Arn, I interviewed Arn a couple times. We hung out in D.C. During a couple of the marches. Either way. And he also came on this show when he was in the Green Party, when he was running for Green Party, as a Green Party candidate, Colorado. Back to this. A former case officer in the CIA's Iran task force, Sterling was charged in 2011 in connection with the leaking of classified information that appeared in The State of War. Now, State of War is a book that was released in 2006 about the agency, written by New York Times reporter James Risen. The book included details about a secret U.S. operation targeting Tehran's nuclear program. Sterling was convicted by a jury in January 2015 of 9 felony counts, including multiple violations of the U.S. Espionage Act. He was sentenced that June to begin serving a 42-month prison sentence. A statement from his wife, Holly. I am excited. My beloved husband, Jeffrey, is transitioning to a halfway house while being anxious that he does not remain there until June. We maintain hope that we can begin the arduous journey of rebuilding our life that the government vehemently destroyed. Jeffrey's legacy is now branded with the scarlet letter of being a supposed traitor to his country, the country he still loves. I'll go on to say this. His conviction was a breach of First Amendment protections, added Margot Ewan, the North American director of Reporters Without Borders, an international press freedom group. Simply being in contact with a journalist does not amount to espionage and should not incur imprisonment. Whistleblowers, by definition, are people who work to make our country a truly better country, a more transparent country. And they expose the likes of double dealings and dirty dealings and secret dealings that harm not only American citizens, but global citizens. And we're all global citizens. It's not a us against them when we're talking about lives of people, innocent lives of others. It's us. It's all of us. I don't want to speak much further about Jeffrey Sterling, about his case, because I'm not totally privy to all the ins and outs. But I know that people that put it all on the line to tell the truth in whatever capacity should not be in prison. They should be celebrated. This is the best of us. And those that would seek to punish them for speaking truth, for displaying truth, well, they are the worst of us. Come on home, Jeffrey. Can't wait to talk to you. That's right. Okay, so now, this is where I tell you what this is where I remind you. This is where I remind you. It's just like I'm a friend. I'm just walking up, tapping you on the shoulder. Hey, friends. Hey. I just want to let you know, man, remember now, this show ain't brought to you by the DNC or the GOP or even TYT. It ain't brought to you by any organization. We don't get Soros money. None of that. That's why we're on a shoestring budget, because we want to keep it real with the people. Okay? So this is what you do if you appreciate this content. You go to TimBlackTV.com. You sign up and you choose what you think you can give to the show monthly. All right? I won't come knocking on your door every week asking you to hey, where's your thing? Where's your thing? This ain't a bill collector situation. What this is community. This is revolutionary. This is the people speaking up for the people. Doing our best to tell it straight. Keep it real. So become a member of the Team Black. That's what this is. That's my shirt here. Go to TimBlackTV.com, pick up some gear, and come on out. All right? All right. Now, This is hilarious. Democrats' bold fold shifts blame to GOP and Trump. Or shifts pressure to GOP and Trump. This is the latest incarnation of finger pointing done by the Democratic Party, a distraction technique employed to heavy rotation on mainstream media or corporate media. Okay? Here's the idea. The idea is that when Chuck Schumer and the Democratic Party decided they were going to fold like a lawn chair, that somehow put Trump in a bad situation or the GOP in a bad situation. Now, just for a little reminder, the Democratic Party, they would not, approve or vote in the Senate for the bill that Trump wanted to pass. This was his budget, and they were withholding their vote. Okay, so they got a number of nays. And they said they were doing it because, well, we want the dream. We want the dreamers to be free. We want the dreamers to get a clean bill of health. We want them to be able to stay in this country. And so basically they were putting in the immigration issue into this. Now, the Republicans, I'm not saying they didn't play dirty ball. They played dirty ball because they withheld funding for CHIPS, which is the Child Health Insurance Program, which affects millions of children across this country. So there's a lot of dirty pool going on, okay? But I call it politics. This is politics going on. That's how politics is done. You want something from me? Well, I want something from you. Let's talk about how we can both be happy about what we get. Well, the problem with the whole thing is that in the end, even after the shutdown, the Democratic parties, they were the ones who gave in. Well, and they say, well, by giving in, we got the CHIP program. Problem is, I don't believe, and I will never believe, that the CHIP program would go unfunded indefinitely. I felt that eventually the Republican Party would have to cave in on that issue. Now, this is what they're saying. They're saying, no, Tim. Us saying we were going to fight to the bitter end for the Dreamers, that was all true. And we were playing like 3D chess, 4D chess, some other degree of chess, black degree, the third level black degree, black belt degree, golden sash, superstar ninja. We were playing some level of Jedi mind trick on the GOP when we gave them what they wanted, but we didn't get what we wanted, but we kind of got the CHIPS thing. Here's the thing. Listen, this is what they say. Monday's deal took the Child Health Insurance Program, or CHIP, off the table. On Thursday, South Dakota Republican Senator Mike Rounds made an interesting admission to NBC's Chuck Todd about the program that Republicans had cynically allowed to run out of money nearly 3 months ago. Now, okay, so they let it run out of money. This was strategic. And I would say the Republicans knew that this was going to be a bargaining chip. I agree. The chip was going to be a bargaining chip, okay? But now the Democrats say, without CHIP in the mix now that it's gone, we will be able to really fight for the DREAM Act now. We're going to fight all the way because now what are they going to use? What are they going to use to fight with? I don't know. That's the question. Without CHIP in the mix, as Eric Bolhart pointed out on Twitter, the next round of negotiations will be a clean, from a messaging point of view, that it will be all about the Dreamers now. That's all we're going to worry about is the Dreamers. No longer can McConnell, Paul Ryan, and the Trump administration and other Republicans claim that Democrats are harming our children for the sake of illegal immigrants. The outrageous and sub-rosa racist frame adopted by the GOP during the past week's debacle. All right. This seems like a conundrum. It seems very difficult to decipher. Even I went down the road of word salad when I was trying to just break it down to you there. But I promise not to be full of word salad when we go to the roast. Sometimes you got to roast shit, y'all. Let me get this right. So you believe that, well, now that we don't have chips in the way, we can just roll with the DACA plan, and now we'll have a cleaner way or path to fight for the Dreamers. That's your plan? Now that the Republicans won't be able to say, hey, man, you don't want to feed the kids. You'd rather choose illegal immigrants over the kids. This is my fundamental problem with the Democratic Party. They don't understand how to play. Listen, nothing's changed, dumbass. The Republicans are going to use that on you from now till 2020. They're going to keep saying it every time immigration comes up. And if you don't have the support within your party to refute that shit, you're lost. My mama used to always say, it don't matter what people call you. It only matters what you answer to. And if you sitting around worrying about what Republicans paint you as, I mean, come on, guys. When you are the liberal side of the coin, and you have access to CNN, MSNBC, ABC, the Huffington Post, blah, 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 the Daily Beast, blah, blah, blah. I could just keep naming media entities that definitely are biased towards the Democratic Party. If you have 90% of all media up on your up your ass, basically supporting you, hosting you on their shoulders, and carrying you through the terrain of thoughts in this country, and you don't have the cojones to say, screw what the Republicans say, they're garbage, and nothing they say, their painting of us, their framing of this is BS. If you can't do that, then you'll never win. The problem with the Democratic Party is that they do not have a solidified base. And the problem that they don't have a solidified base is based on the fact that, well, they keep caving and they don't fight for things. Not the way they should. I think it's poor policy, poor politics for you to be able to say, well, now we really gonna fight. No, that's not how it works. Run once, in the back of the head, you're just a runner. And if you're worried about anything, and I mean anything, that Trump says about you or tweets, if that destroys you, if a Trump tweet destroys the Democratic Party and they can't fight back against a Trump tweet, well, then you don't deserve to win. And that's coming from somebody who actually wants the Dreamers to stay. But I don't like losers, and I don't like spineless losers the most. All right. Had to put that smack down on you, Chuck Schumer. Oh, Chuck Schumer. Chucky. Grow a backbone, Chuck. All right. Released the memo. Burger King, Jeffrey Sterling.
From the standpoint that...
Okay, let's get to this. Now, Larry Nassar. Let me see if I can...
I was a coach for many years.
Get that out of here. Now, we're all aware of the Olympic gymnast doctor who was... let me come back on the camera real quick. We're all aware of the Olympic gymnast doctor who violated and betrayed the trust of over 100 young girls. And we all know that he's now facing sentencing. And we all know he had talked for... part of his plea agreement was that he would have to listen to victim impact statements where victims of him, of his doing, of his fondling, of his molestation, of his digital penetration, were able to speak about the effect that it had on their lives. And we're also aware that he complained. He thought it was inhumane to have to sit through and listen to the effects of what he did to these young women. Well, that case is nearing an end. And here goes a bit of a clip from someone who can speak firsthand about the betrayal.
Go to hell. I have a different relationship with Larry from the... For the record, go to hell. I have a different relationship with Larry from the standpoint that I was a coach for many years. I'm also an exercise physiologist. When I graduated from grad school, he was an advisor of mine. He's been a mentor of mine. I've done clinics with him for years in the past, and I've probably sent well over 100 kids to him over the years. So the guilt I feel for that is hard to fathom.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
That's a horrific idea that someone would have to live with that, due to no fault of their own, other than trusting someone. He at one point was a mentor to this man who spoke. So that has to be difficult to live with in itself. Now, the judge in the case, there's an article related to the sentencing. The title is, "I signed your death warrant, Larry Nassar. Judge condemns USA gymnastics doctor while giving him a whopping 175-year sentence." Yeah. The judge presiding over Larry Nassar's sexual misconduct case Wednesday tossed the disgraced doctor's letter about his crimes aside and chewed him out in the courtroom while sentencing him up to 175 years in prison. You do not deserve to walk outside of a prison ever again. Said Judge Rosemary Aquilina told Nassar after 7 days of testimony from his victims. She said, and I quote, "I signed your death warrant." Give it up for that. Nassar spoke to the court on Wednesday, saying there were no words to describe the depth and breadth of how sorry he was for what has occurred. I could just pick this chair up and throw it right now. I would do it, but I need this chair. But I'm serious. I cannot stand. Listen to this sentence one more time and see if you can pick out why your brother Tim Black is so pissed off. Let me reread that. No words to describe the depth and breadth of how sorry I am for what has occurred. Mofo, this didn't occur. Rain occurs, motherfucker. Molesting girls don't just occur. That's something you did. That is an action. You thought it, you did it. And you didn't do it once. You thought it and did it. 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 That's not an occurrence. Not an occurrence at all. The judge went on to say that she did not believe his apologies and that he wasn't fit to treat anyone or anything. She said, "I wouldn't send my dogs to you." I like this lady. This is I wouldn't send my dogs to you. Hey, honestly, though, there are a lot of people in America who treat dogs a lot better than they treat people. 50 people can get shot on a weekend and don't want to cry, but if you shoot one dog, motherfucker, one dog, how about we shoot neither? But you get my point. And I had to say that because people get mad. Why'd you say that about the dogs? Don't care about the people. Some people do argue that dogs are better than people. Sometimes they are. But that's my point. But anyway, back to this. Ahead of Nassar's sentencing, Aquilina allowed more than 150 women and their family members, including several Olympic gymnasts, to share their testimony of sexual abuse they suffered at his hands. Nassar, 54, had pleaded guilty in Ingham County, Michigan, to sexually assaulting 7 girls in Michigan from 1998 to 2015. He still faces sentencing for 3 counts in Eaton County. the thing about Nassar is he's a dead man. Like I told my wife when I woke up this morning and she said, hey, that guy's going to get 175 years. I said, he'll be dead in 20. Similar to that piece of crap out in Ohio who kidnapped those girls who finally escaped. Remember that the brother saw one of the little girls. He said, oh, I saw the little girl running. And I was like, uh-oh, something wrong. Little white girl running into a black man's arms. Remember that? And it was like a meme and a video and overdub and auto-tone, all this crap going on. But anyway, here's the point. That guy killed himself within 5 years. He was able to torture little girls for a decade, but he couldn't go to jail for 5 years because he's a garbage. He has no courage, he has no backbone. If he had backbone, he'd walk his ass. He would have never abducted those young girls. And he would have walked his ass into a doctor's office and said, take me. I'm no good for the world. Keep me away from people. That takes courage. And don't tell me people with issues don't have enough balls to walk into a facility and say, hey, put them on me. It's sort of like the guy from the Andy Griffith show. Remember, what's his name, the drunk? Someone knows the drunk. Otis. Remember Otis? Now, some of you millennials have no idea who Otis was. Otis was a town drunk. He had a sickness. He was an alcoholic. But you know what he would do every weekend when he got drunk, before he did some wrong shit? He would go down to the jail and throw himself in jail. He'd go, Andy, I need to go in there. I'm no good. I need to go to jail. That was before he did anything. Get my point? So anyone out there crying crocodile tears for Nassar, which I couldn't understand how you could do so anyway if you have any shred of decency. Sometimes we need to focus on the victims. Not the victor, not the damn assailant, not the damn evildoer. So miss me with the Tim, be sympathetic. He's a sick puppy. We're all God's children. Yeah, and some of us need to be in jail for the rest of our damn lives too. To quote the great comedian Richard Pryor, God damn, I'm glad they got penitentiaries. All right. Speaking of penitentiaries, all right, where's my information about, hold up. Here we go. I do not have, okay, yeah, no, we got this. Now, I don't have a picture for this, but it's okay. We know what Toys R Us looks like. Toys R Us, we grew up on it. It was the place we used to beg our parents to take us. Unfortunately, I was so broke coming up that my mom rarely took me to Toys R Us. I'd see the commercials, and then she'd say, well, picture, baby, what's in your mind, what you want from Toys R Us. Now, let's go down here to this thrift store and see if we can find something just like it. And it would never be just like it. But, hey, that's what you got to do, man. Some of us are still doing that to this day. In fact, some of us are still doing that shopping at the thrift stores and the Goodwills or whatever to the point where they don't even have no stuff no more because we done took it all. It's all gone. People also going in there flipping. They go there and buy it and put it on the eBay now. Thanks, Internet. Anyway, Toys R Us. Toys R Us is hitting some hard times. It said it will shut down 1/5 of its U.S. stores in the coming months as the toy store chain tries to emerge from one of the largest ever bankruptcies by a special retailer. The closure of about 180 U.S. stores will begin in early February and continue until mid-April, said Chief Executive Dave Brandon in a letter on the company website. The Wayne, New Jersey-based company contesting growing competition from regional independent toy retailers and online giant Amazon will also roll deep discounts and revamp its loyalty program to lure more shoppers. The company filed for bankruptcy protection just ahead of the 2017 holiday season, and that was in the U.S. and in Canada. to restructure $5 billion of long-term debt, casting doubts over the future of its 64,000 employees in nearly 1,500 stores. Wow. And now it also now here's the other side of this. When Toys R Us closes stores, it not only hurts employees of Toys R Us, but it also affects toy manufacturers such as Mattel. Okay? All these makers, because that was one of the major retailers. Mattel, and it goes on to say that Toys R Us was Mattel's second largest customer in 2016, representing 11% of its sales. So, 11% of your sales had just been drastically cut. I don't think that Toys R Us will be buying many more toys, at least not at the rate of which it was purchasing before. So that means smaller orders from Mattel. That means it's possible Mattel may have to lay off employees as well. This is what happens when you go, oh, Jeff Bezos, I love it. He's winning. He's winning. I believe this is why capitalism sucks so much. Big Harry is because one entity gets huge, smashes competition, and the ripple effects of this one huge entity, such as Amazon, is a destruction of smaller entities that employ people as well. This is what happens. It says that Toys R Us, which also operates the infant and toddler-focused Babies R Us, has set aside more than $400 million out of its $3.1 billion in bankruptcy loans for sprucing up stores over the next 3 years with more experiences and better paid staff. This does force Toys R Us to have to pivot, and I think it's smart to pivot to the children's store. I think there's nothing like shopping for your infant, your new baby coming home, right, and be able to walk in the store. I think that's a different type of experience that lends itself to a brick and mortar store. I wish them the best. There are many people employed, 63,000, I think they said. And this is just what happens. So keep cheering for Bezos as if you get any of that. And just look at the other people that are affected. All right. Yeah, baby. Do you guys got any free checking accounts? Free checking accounts, checking accounts where you don't have to pay a fee regardless of how much you keep in the account on a monthly basis. Some of you do. That's great. You need to hold on to that. Bank of America has just done away with its free checking accounts. Never mind the fact that they're using your money and you get relatively nothing for it. They make money off of you being able to access your money. And now, instead of just making money off of lending out your money, they want to charge a fee. Regardless, if you ever come into the store, if you ever come into an actual teller, you never have to interact with a person. It's all online. It's called e-banking. It's not just Bank of America customers who are shelling out extra cash and fees, though. Earlier this month, Bank of America switched certain customers into accounts that require a $12 monthly fee unless they have a direct monthly deposit of $250 or more, or maintain a minimum balance of at least $1,500. This is one of the lowest qualifiers in the industry, says Bank of America. For those grieving the loss of their free low-cost checking, this is nothing new. Banks have been pushing up what they charge customers for years. The landscape is still one where fees are rising, said Greg McBride, BankRates.com's chief financial analyst. I don't expect that's going to change anytime soon. However, the availability of free checking with no strings attached still exists. Oh, it does? It does exist? I need free checking account. Where does it exist, my brother? Please tell me. In fact, 38% of banks and 84% of the nation's largest credit unions offer a standalone free checking account, meaning checking accounts with no monthly service fee. This is according to Bankrate.com. Americans are still paying $15 billion in fees, including monthly service charges. This is reported by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Choosing the wrong account for your situation can cost you dearly, $750 to be exact. Yeah. That's in fees over the course of a single year. And that's reported, or in a report that was conducted by Wallet Hub. So the banking industry has been getting over on its customers for quite some time. And they use the idea of a name recognition. People feel, oh, I'm secure. But I would suggest that all of us do our best to avoid these fees. And one of the ways you do that is banking locally in smaller banks. They usually have better rates. Working with small credit unions. Credit unions are excellent. In fact, during the 2016 election, and a lot of people became aware of just how bad it was, and just these banks, what they invest in, such as the Dakota Access Pipeline and other pipelines. We became aware of where our money is going and how it's being utilized. And that's another reason to deal with a local credit union. Okay? The only thing I would suggest and strongly urge you to do is make sure that whatever entity you choose, don't just choose for there to be no fee. Also make sure they're FDIC compliant and that they're going to be insured by the FDIC. Okay? Usually it's up to $100,000. If something happens, you still get your money. That's what that insurance is for. Okay. Now, right on the cusp of that, with what's going on with the banking and with the fees, this young lady here, I guess she got a little tired with the bank herself, and she took matters into her own hands. Her name is Emily Coakley, and she's 86 years old. She was recently sentenced to 1 year's probation after pleading guilty to lesser charges in a bank robbery in Philadelphia. Yeah.
Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions. Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions.
Emily Coakley, 86, entered a plea bargain deal. A plea to counts of possession of an instrument of crime and simple assault, according to court records. Other charges, including robbery and theft, were withdrawn. Coakley, who uses a walker, had a handgun when she demanded $400 from the TD Bank in University City on November 21st. Coakley believed the bank had shorted her $400, according to Ben Waxman, the spokesman for the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office, who cited her health issues and the fact that the gun was empty as factors in the plea deal for non-reporting probation. Coakley's attorney did not return requests for comment. Emily Coakley walked into a bank with a gun and a walker. I'm trying to tell you, man, it's funny, and I'm glad that she only got non-reporting probation. She ain't a threat to nobody. Hell, she didn't even put bullets in the gun, okay? It was just, she was tired of getting screwed by banks. Screwed by banks. And I do not endorse walking into a bank, no matter if you 86 or if you 26 or 16 for that matter, with a gun. They may not go as lightly on your ass, okay? They may actually throw the book at you. She got off, so to speak. She got off. But it just goes to the desperation that we feel. It's not funny at all. The desperation that Americans feel about not being in control of their finances and the bank doing whatever they want to do. She probably bounced a check. How many people have bounced a check? They keep resending it. They keep hitting you fee after fee after fee. That may have been what happened. It also could be that Miss Coakley just didn't read her statement correctly because cataracts. But I'm doubting that. I think she got somebody in her life that looked at that statement too or something. I hope. I'm just saying, it's just horrible. It's just... Today has been a lengthy show, but I had a lot to give you. I got people sending me great stories like my friend Aert Win, Aert Win, at Aert Wit on Twitter. My man Fred, he sent me the story to follow up on the Pfizer, and we're just doing a community thing. We're making TBTV more a part of the revolution, more a part of all the people that care about truth, and this is not partisan. Look, hey, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter what you vote. You want truth, we want the same thing there. Same thing. All right. Now, let's see if we can make a switch here. Oh, yeah, baby. One-liners. All right. One-liner number one. TYT, or the Young Turks as it's known by many, has been in the news a lot lately. Previously, they were in the news because of one of their investigative reporters, Jordan Sheridan, was being accused of rape. And as you know, the young lady that accused him, her and the writer of an article that highlighted the accusation, asked to come on my program, and I allowed her to come on my program and share her story. Well, she never pressed charges, and Jordan Sheridan subsequently was terminated from TYT. A whole bunch of stuff happened. Okay? I reached out to Jordan Sheridan before she came on the show and said, Jordan, hey, this woman wants to come on the show. Won't you come on the show? I don't want to just put this out here without you being a part of it, you having an opportunity to speak. I didn't know that Jordan had retained counsel and been advised not to talk. So this thing had already left the barn. So that's one reason why TYT's been in the news lately. Liberal news channel that makes news has become the news. Then there was the issue of Cenk Uygur, some old messages, old blog posts that he made that were racist and sexist and just bad, horrible stuff that was dug up. And everyone said this is a hit piece on Cenk Uygur and it's horrible that they're doing this to Cenk Uygur. That was number two. All right, number two. He was forced to step down from Justice Democrats, and it was just bad. It was bad PR. It looked bad. You're a liberal leader of the biggest online liberal media entity, and you got accusations of that you're a sexist and you may be a racist. So this was horrible stuff. This didn't look good. Okay, now number three. Okay, because they say bad things come in threes or. Just out. There's been a lawsuit where a former TYT employee alleges that he was racially discriminated against by TYT, that he was treated unfairly, was not treated the same as his white counterparts, and he was terminated because he would not sign a severance agreement where he would say he would not comment on these issues. Okay. I don't know what's true or what's false. I know it's alleged, and I know someone filed paperwork. Cenk Uygur says it didn't happen. This is not what happened at all. Well, here goes the story. And I know this should be a one-liner, but I think it needs a little bit more. Listen, I don't know what happened. I'm sure there are people who don't want to hear about it. People want to hear about it. When you are the biggest liberal media entity, this can happen. All right. Now, Cenk Uygur, he denies it. He denies ex-employees' race discrimination allegations. The employee says, and this was reported by BuzzFeed News. According to Jones' complaint, his name, the name of the complainant is Andrew Jones, a black journalist who worked for TYT. He says, when he raised the issues with Cenk Uygur that he was being discriminated against within TYT, Uygur, the CEO, told him that complaining about racial bias was a fireable offense and that Jones should shut the fuck up and deal. In a statement, Uygur said the comments Jones attributed to him are completely false. Okay. It is no way for us to know if we weren't there present, but this is a horrible story. I can't say whether TYT has racist operating procedures or have people in positions who make decisions that are racist, but I would tell you this. I've often questioned, going back to 2014, why an entity that covers so much of Black American issues has such few people of color employed. I've questioned that. I've had that in many videos. I felt it was almost to the point of exploitation. Does that mean that they're racist? I don't know. Maybe they just feel like they work better amongst themselves. There is something with the culture. I don't think a person joins TYT with the intentions of suing it. And I also don't think you hire someone with the intentions of, if you're a racist, or if you operate racially biasedly, or biased towards racists, or different people of different colors. You get my point? I don't think those things are impossible, right? People have faced discrimination all over this country every day. TYT ain't nothing but another company. It may have lofty goals, it may have done some good work, but that's the reality of it. And it doesn't mean that within your organization you can't be callous. It does not mean that you have the best human resources. And it does not mean that you always hire the best people who are the most sensitive to these types of issues. I'll leave it at that, but I will follow up on this story. One-liner. That was a hell of a one-liner. I don't even think that qualifies as one line. That's like 20 lines. That's like 20 lines. I told I got a note here. It says riff. I wrote it to myself, riff. So I riffed. One-liners. Democratic Illinois Tammy Duckworth, senator, who will become the first sitting senator to give birth while in office. That's right. She's going to have a baby, ladies and gentlemen, a baby in office. Now, there have been many members of Congress, I think 10 or 9 other members of Congress who have given birth while in office. But Tammy Duckworth will stand to be the first senator to do such. Not to be outdone, Chuck Schumer says he will act like a baby on the Senate floor as he complains while he's getting the shaft over folding like a lawn chair during the immigration discussion. So that's something he's going to do. And he's crying, bye-bye, mommy, bye-bye, because he can't win right now. And even Nancy Pelosi took his bye-bye away. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Nancy. Bye-bye. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning into the show. I'll see you soon for Black Word Today. And don't forget, send your emails to tim@timblacktv.com if you are interested in volunteering to become a part of this. I'm only asking for at least 5 hours of your time a week in the areas of investigative journalism, politics research, or social issues research, or creative, where you are involved in creating design for either the website, for thumbnails, or what have you, or for visuals that are used in this show, including video editing. So hit me up once again, tim@timblacktv.com. I will be responding as soon as possible. Don't forget, I will be in Portland, Oregon this weekend. All right, so stay tuned for that. And also, if you can contribute to help me be able to get there, get a couple bites to eat, and hang out with some folks, don't forget to go to timblacktv.com or become a member of Patreon. I appreciate you. I love you. Stay strong. And remember,
look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
Don't let nobody take your cornbread, or don't let nobody put no bananas up your tailpipe. And this other.
Maybe I ought to eat your cornbread.
So, look, eat your cornbread because they coming for it. I'll see y'all on the next one.